privilege of introducing Rose, really. I've been an advisor on the project. My name is Lamberts, and I'm head of the Sculpture Dimensional Studies program here at Alfred University, and head up the Foundry Arts, the cast metal program. First time I met Rose was a couple of years ago when she took the summer school Foundry class, which is a 3-week class, and we all piled in a van and went on a 20-hour drive down to the middle of a field in Kansas to melt iron and make sculpture. And I looked at Rose and I thought, she looks pretty feisty. She's either going to love this or she's going to hate it. And towards the end of the iron pour, it's a very hot, dirty, windy environment. We're pouring iron outside. There was a thunderstorm around us with lightning coming down. We were wet, and I'm looking around trying to find all my students in this mass of bodies with all this, 2,600 degree metal around the place, making sure that they weren't getting damaged, and that they were all enjoying themselves. And I look over and there's a big sand mold, about a 10,000 pound sand mold that was being prepared to take about 2,000 pounds of molten iron. There's this big structure with a ladle on top with this molten iron in there. So you want to make sure everybody's got their safety gear. And I'm like, where's Rose? Where's Rose? Oh, can you hear me okay? Yeah. I'm like, where's Rose? Where's Rose? And there she was with a shovel right in the heart of things, waiting there to help pour in this 2,000 pound of molten iron. So I'm like, oh, she's okay. And that was 2 years ago, and since then she has just taken the process of casting iron, making art, sharing that language, sharing that with a broader community through this project, the Alzheimer's Iron, and using the art and act of casting and melting to bring things together, bring people and ideas together. So I'm really pleased that Rose has this opportunity today, and that she's a senior and she'll be taking this project on internationally. So thank you for all coming here today, and I'm pleased to be a part of Rose's project. Thank you. I'll introduce Rose's other advisor, Bob Maiden.
Thank you. It's good to see you all here today. Also, I guess I go back a little further. I remember Rose back 2010, and I had this couple of weeks into the semester, had this student come to me out of nowhere, didn't know who she was, right? She introduces herself and she tells me that she's organized 15 art and design students into what she called the Purple and Golden Years Club, now called the Golden Years Club, and that they were interested in doing some sort of service learning, civic engagement project. And I was absolutely amazed, right? In my 28 years time, now 32 years at Alfred, this has never happened before, right? Absolutely amazing. And at that time, the gerontology program was kind of struggling a little bit. And 4 years later, now it's thriving, it's doing very well. We have our majors are up, minors are up, interest in our classes are up. So, and a lot of this is directly related to the contributions I think Rose and her group have offered Alfred University. She developed this project in which she taught older adults afflicted with Alzheimer's disease how to engage in watercolor painting. And then she would have other art students discuss the water painting project with the individual and interpret it, talk about their interpretation. All right? And then she would have the art and design student also develop their own interpretation of that person's artwork and to transform that interpretation into an iron project. Right? And then these iron projects, these iron works, sculptures, were auctioned off, and the money garnered from that auction was contributed to Alzheimer's associations in Western New York. That's pretty amazing. All right. I mean, just the contributions of this group and Rose has made to our program and to the students on the campus and to the atmosphere, I think, around Alfred University, positive atmosphere, to the community, to Allegheny County, Steuben County, older adults, to people afflicted with Alzheimer's disease is absolutely awesome. All right. And I'm very excited to be part of this. In a few weeks, Rose and I are going to Denver, Colorado to celebrate and get high legal. No. Actually, we'll be presenting some of what Rose is presenting here today to the Association of Gerontology in Higher Education, and that's composed of folks who are teachers, who are instructors in the field of aging, and they invited us to come. They're very eager to learn from this project ideas and concepts that they can incorporate in their own service learning courses as well. So, a great honor and delighted to do so. I introduce Rose. Rose Marie Oakman.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rose, and I have always had a passion and a drive for working with the elderly. When I first got to Alfred University, I enrolled in Dan Napolitano's Drawn to Diversity program. This is the first time I really got involved in community outreach, and it really started my drive for the Golden Years Club. Here we are with our advisor, Dr. Maiden, and the Golden Years Club was really born on forming relationships between elderly community members and art and design students. So we used to do a wide range of art activities. Here we are making ceramic leaves. We would do potato prints, Jackson Pollock style watercolors, and a ton of different things. Working at this nursing home was the first time I was ever exposed to Alzheimer's and dementia, and I didn't know it was Alzheimer's and dementia at the time. Odd things would happen during these painting and art sessions. I would ask someone how old they were, and they would respond that they were 13. So looking into it, I started doing a lot of research into the Alzheimer's disease, which led me to the Alzheimer's Association. So I started really being proactive with the Golden Years Club, and we started going to walks to end Alzheimer's, as well as getting certified in the Memories in the Making program offered by the Alzheimer's Association, which is a watercolor painting class specifically designed for Alzheimer's and dementia elderly. Alzheimer's is a gradual, fatal disease of the brain. It comes in stages. Individuals diagnosed normally live 8 to 10 years, and there is currently no cure for Alzheimer's, and we are not sure exactly why it forms. It's a growing epidemic in America, and it's terrifying. At the same time, I was becoming very interested in the cast iron arts process. Cast iron arts has a community unlike any other community I've ever met. So I knew with this community, they would help me become artist catalysts in the fight against Alzheimer's. And that is how the Alzheimer's Iron Project was born. So with Alzheimer's Iron, we are looking to take the fading memories of older adults in these painting sessions and make them into artworks that will live on forever, using the eternal medium of cast iron. So we would go out and we would paint using iron oxides. And these students are all certified by the Alzheimer's Association to be creating these paintings. So here are some examples of our painting sessions. The paintings can become very abstract. When you have Alzheimer's, your brain works backwards, so you almost become childlike again. So this is an explanation for the childlike paintings. I then taught several Alfred University Art and Design students how to cast iron for the first time. So here we are making sand molds, which is an element of the cast iron arts process. In February, we had our first Alzheimer's iron pour at the National Casting Center Foundry. Here are some pictures from the pour. And here's a little walkthrough of the process. So here is Haley. She's one of the glass directors of the Alzheimer's Iron Project. And she is working with an elderly individual from Horseheads named Joe. So Joe has recently suffered from a stroke and was only able to paint using dots. So up in the corner, you can see a house is formed using dots. And houses are a very common theme in Alzheimer's paintings. One reason for this is a home is the first thing you really learn to draw when you're a child, as well as I think many of the elderly are longing to be back in their home, and that's an explanation for why there's so many pictures of or paintings of home. So when Haley came to make her iron sculpture based off of the painting, she used the same dot formation in the cast iron work. We've continued on painting all throughout the semester, and eventually we poured in Binghamton, New York as well. Here's another example. This is Elise Beatrice's first sculpture based off of the paintings. So you can see the sculpture here, another home, and then here's her interpretation of that. Here we are in Binghamton. So this was the first time we were able to spread the Alzheimer's Glass and Iron Project beyond Alfred University, which was really great. When you're working with someone with Alzheimer's and dementia, it's always a different experience. So on different days, people will have flashbacks. As I said earlier, your mind goes backwards in time. So around here, the Erie train line crashed in 1960. And very often during a painting session, we'll go in and one of our elderly artists will be freaking out. And they want to find a job. We can't get their mind off finding a job. And we're really there to comfort these elderly. We're not there to produce paintings. So at that time, we will do things like look through newspaper ads or ask them what job they think they would be good at, and eventually we get them toned down and back in a relaxed state of mind. Saying that and having these flashbacks, this summer I was able to go down to Birmingham, Alabama. So flashbacks with elderly in 1960, Birmingham is a very different situation. So this is really the first time I was exposed to just how much prejudice and racism was going on down in Birmingham at this time, just based off the flashbacks by the elderly individuals. So when I was down in Birmingham, I was interning at Sloss Furnaces. Sloss is a National Historic Landmark, and it is one of the most beautiful places I have ever laid eyes on. So I was doing a month-long residency down there, where several of the artists in residence were able to also produce a cast iron sculpture, and they will be shown at the 2015 National Conference on Contemporary Cast Iron Art, and then auctioned off with proceeds going to the Alabama Alzheimer's Association. So here is painting sessions down in Birmingham. Here are some examples of paintings made in Birmingham. So this is really an amazing opportunity, and Sloss is really the mecca for cast iron, so I was so privileged to go down there. And I really would not have been able to get down there without the support of the Women's Leadership Center. I've been part of the Judson Leadership Center since I first joined Alfred, and they've really coached me through this project, so I would just really like to thank them this time for that. And at this time, I'm going to bring Elise Beatrice up on stage, and she will go forward with what we did for the remainder of the summer.
So This past summer, Rose and I were lucky enough to spend a 2-week artist residency at Salem Artworks, which is located in the foothills of the Adirondack Mountains, facing the Green Mountains of Vermont. This is a picture of their sculpture park. While we were there, we had the chance to visit nursing homes throughout Washington County, New York, as well as nursing homes in Bennington, Vermont. This painting looks very abstract, but in fact it's very representational. It is of the Battenkill River, where this woman grew up. If you see like the dark horizontal line, that's the Battenkill River, and to the right, the red area is the Battenkill powerhouse with the smokestacks coming out the top. These are more pictures from those sessions. At the end of our 2 weeks, we did an iron pour with some of the pieces we had made during those 2 weeks. This is the painting I chose. It was done by a woman in Bennington, Vermont. It is of the Bennington Monument. Initially, when she had done the painting, she had just done the black and gray areas of the work and handed it back to us saying she was finished. And then later on in the session, she asked for the painting back so she could add this yellow sky. I thought that was really beautiful for her to go back in and want to do that. So I chose this painting, and off of it I made a wood mold that I wanted to use the wood as like a representation of the body and this vessel, so I carved into it a hole where we could pour molten iron into, and I just wanted this mold to look very pristine and clean. And then I took her same technique and painted it with the yellow oxide to give it that same color. We then poured the iron into it, and I was thinking of the iron kind of acting as Alzheimer's in this situation and kind of coming into the vessel and wreaking havoc on it and forever changing the piece. This is the finished work in conjunction with the painting. We then returned to Salem Artworks in September for the intercollegiate iron pour. While we were there, Haley and I got the chance to spend a lot of time in the Salem Artworks hot shop where they do glass blowing. It was a really great experience, and we are going to be going back there for 3 months in August, from August to October, to do a residency for the project, and we will hopefully establish the project there as a non-for-profit. So that's in the works. And from that, we introduced the glass into the project really after Salem Artworks. We were initially just doing the iron oxide colors, which are red, yellow, and black, and we found that a lot of the elderly members wanted more colors to be able to paint blue like skies and green grass. So we decided to bring watercolors into the palette. This really expanded like the possibilities of the work, especially bringing glass into the work, as you can do many different colors with glass. There's hundreds of colors you can do, so that was really nice. Another thing that's really beautiful about glass is the community as well. You can't really do too much in glass without another hand to help you out, which I think we all in the project really strive for community and that strength in community. These are some pictures of our first watercolor sessions done at Mercy Care in Hernell. And this is a shot of the Alzheimer's glass and iron crew in the Alfred Hot Shop. And there's another. This is my first glass piece I did for the project. The painting is titled Swinging in the Wind, and when I created my piece, I just wanted to draw upon the colors she was using and really try and create motion and movement in the piece. These are more glass artists working. And this is Haley Jelinek, and she will introduce what we have been doing this past fall.
So this past semester was a really big breakthrough for us. In Dan Napolitano's Drawn to Diversity, we were able to certify 35 students in Memories in the Making, so they were able to go out and facilitate these painting sessions with the elderly. We also had the launch of Alzheimer's Glass and an Alzheimer's Iron Pour on the National Make a Difference Day during Meltdown. Over 45 students from A State came to help us out, which was really great. The Alzheimer's Association was also around, and they had a table set up, and they were just around to answer questions that anybody had and also rally the community together. On this day, we also wanted to focus on the grandchildren in the community that were also affected by their grandparents having Alzheimer's or dementia. With the donation of Kent Farms, we had 20 pumpkins that we were able to supply the grandchildren with to carve or to watch molten iron get poured into them. So that was really exciting. The same weekend, we also had our first Alzheimer's Glass and Iron show in the Turner Gallery, and that was also a really big thing for us, making all our hard work worth it. And now I'll bring it back to Rose, and she'll talk about what else we're doing this semester.
So this Saturday is Pour Your Heart Out at the National Casting Center Foundry, and it's going to be a great time. It is also going to be an Alzheimer's Iron Pour, so we'll be pouring sculptures for this project on Saturday's pour. There will also be chili, the launch of Coral Lamberts Volcano Furnace, a bake sale for Alzheimer's Iron, and it's also coming up on Alzheimer's Iron's first year birthday, so we'll be pouring into cakes as well. So we invite you all to come down and pour with us. There are scratch blocks available outside if you would like to create your own either cast iron or aluminum artwork for a mere $10. Right now I am in the process of building an iron furnace so the project is able to sustain itself after we graduate from Alfred and these amazing facilities are gone. So we are currently working on this Alzheimer's Iron Furnace, and we will have a pour at the Hornell Art Walk this coming May 2nd, which I encourage all of you guys to come out and support and see the art walk as well. Things are getting very exciting for Alzheimer's Glass and Iron this summer. We have been invited to host a panel about Alzheimer's Glass and Iron at the 7th International Contemporary Cast Iron Arts Conference. So on the longest day of the year, which is Alzheimer's Association's big fundraising day, we will be giving a panel as well as pouring iron out of a 13-foot volcano created by Coral Lambert that has forget-me-nots in honor of the Alzheimer's disease at the bottom. After that, we will hopefully be headed to London for a month, where we will establish the project there as well, bringing the project fully internationally for the first time. We're going to be volunteering south of London, close to where my mother lives, and then we are working with an Alfred alumni to pour the iron sculptures, and we'll be giving the proceeds to the Alzheimer's Association of the UK. After that, as Elise said, we will be going to Salem Artworks for a 3-month residency, which is a great honor. And hopefully during that time we will be able to establish the project as an official not-for-profit, and that way we can continue to sustain ourselves in this fight against Alzheimer's. That is the end of my talk, so I'm going to invite my panelists back up, so Dr. Maiden, Coral, Haley, and Elise, and we will now take questions.